What happens when the face the world once admired slowly becomes unrecognizable even to longtime fans? In Hollywood and beyond, beauty pressure can quietly reshape lives, careers, and identities. Some of these celebrities were searching for confidence, while others were chasing artistic freedom or a sense of control over aging. Tonight, we explore 7 unforgettable transformation stories filled with fame, emotion, risk, and resilience. Subscribe now, because some of these journeys may completely change how you see celebrity beauty forever. Julia Terasovich was once admired as one of Russia's elegant models, known for refined beauty that seemed graceful and timeless. On pageant stages and in fashion circles, she carried herself with quiet confidence. By her late 30s, Julia reportedly wanted only modest cosmetic adjustments, not a dramatic transformation. In 2020, she underwent several procedures at a private clinic, including a facelift, eyelid surgery, and liposuction. What she expected to be a routine enhancement quickly became a serious medical and emotional challenge. After surgery, her face appeared swollen, uneven, and painfully tight. Most distressing, she reportedly could not fully close her eyelids even while trying to sleep. That detail makes her story especially powerful. Something most people take for granted, the ability to rest comfortably, became part of her daily struggle. Julia later pursued legal action, alleging negligence. The doctors involved argued that a rare autoimmune condition may have contributed to the complications, a claim Julia strongly disputed. Instead of retreating from public view, Julia chose to speak openly. Her story became a warning about the importance of research, medical trust, and understanding that even familiar procedures can carry serious risks. What keeps audiences watching is the ordinary nature of her original wish. She was not seeking an extreme new identity. She wanted a subtle refresh, the kind of choice many people might consider simple. Julia Terasovich reminds viewers that cosmetic surgery is never just a beauty decision. It is a medical decision, an emotional decision, and sometimes a life-changing one. Her journey asks everyone to think carefully before trusting promises that sound too easy in any clinic at any age. Lin May was once one of Mexico's most dazzling entertainers, admired for her beauty, charisma, and unforgettable stage presence. During the 1970s, she became a major figure in cabaret and cinema, captivating audiences from Acapulco to Buenos Aires. Her confidence, movement, and natural glamour made her a cultural icon. But behind the spotlight, a small insecurity began to grow. Lin reportedly wanted to correct a minor facial asymmetry, something nearly invisible to others but deeply noticeable to her. Trusting the wrong person, she received injections from someone who was not a licensed medical professional. Instead of safe cosmetic filler, she was reportedly injected with baby oil, a substance never meant for the human body. The effects were lasting. Her face became inflamed, her tissues hardened, and repeated attempts to correct the damage could not fully restore her earlier appearance. The media responded with harsh photographs and painful commentary, turning a private medical issue into public entertainment. Still, Lin May refused to disappear. She continued performing, giving interviews, and speaking openly about her experience. Rather than hiding from the past, she transformed it into a warning about unsafe cosmetic procedures and the emotional pressure women face in entertainment industries obsessed with youth. What keeps viewers watching is her strength. Lin did not allow criticism to erase her spirit. She transformed a difficult chapter into a warning about unlicensed procedures and the pressure placed on women to remain youthful forever. Lin May reminds audiences that true beauty is not only in the face people remember, it is in dignity, survival, and the courage to keep standing after public judgment and personal hardship. Carol Bryan's story is deeply moving because she was not seeking fame, attention, or dramatic change. At 47, she simply wanted to refresh her appearance and feel more confident again. Like many people, she believed a cosmetic filler treatment would be safe, simple, and temporary. Instead, that decision changed her life in ways she never expected. In 2009, Carol received facial injections that reportedly contained liquid silicone, a substance considered unsafe for facial cosmetic use. At first, the results did not seem alarming, but within weeks, her face began swelling, hardening, and changing shape. What was meant to be a small enhancement became a serious medical situation. The emotional impact was enormous. Carol withdrew from public life, avoided friends, and struggled to face even ordinary moments. Her daughter became a source of strength, helping her search for doctors who could understand the damage and offer real help. After years of difficult treatments, surgeons at UCLA took on her complex case. A major reconstructive operation helped restore function and dignity, though Carol ultimately lost vision in one eye due to optic nerve damage connected to the complications. Today, Carol uses her story to educate others. She speaks about patient safety, medical credentials, and the importance of asking questions before any cosmetic procedure. Her courage has turned personal pain into public protection. Carol Bryan keeps audiences watching because her experience feels frighteningly relatable. She did not chase perfection. She trusted a treatment that sounded ordinary. Her journey reminds viewers that cosmetic procedures are still medical procedures, and safety should always matter more than quick promises when appearance is involved today and health. Jocelyn Wildenstein once stood at the center of New York high society, surrounded by art, wealth, and elegance. Married to billionaire art dealer Alec Wildenstein, she lived in a world of private homes, rare paintings, designer fashion, and constant attention. In early photographs, Jocelyn appeared refined, confident, and naturally striking, the kind of woman people associated with old-world glamour. Over time, however, her appearance began changing in ways the public could not ignore. What reportedly started as subtle cosmetic adjustments gradually became a series of procedures that reshaped her features. Her eyes looked more lifted, her cheeks fuller, and her face more sculpted than before. The media quickly gave her the nickname Catwoman, a label that followed her for decades. Behind that headline was a more human story. Aging in elite social circles can bring intense pressure, especially when beauty, status, and attention seem connected. Jocelyn rarely explained her choices directly, and that silence made people even more curious. Her public divorce in 1999 brought another wave of scrutiny, followed years later by reports of financial difficulties. Still, Jocelyn continued appearing publicly, often beside designer Lloyd Klein, showing that she would not be defined only by criticism. Her story keeps audiences watching because it sits between mystery, image, and vulnerability. Jocelyn Wildenstein reminds viewers that cosmetic transformation is rarely just about vanity. Sometimes it reflects fear, control, and the desire to hold on to a version of life that already feels like it is slipping away, especially when the world keeps comparing every photograph to a past no one can restore by everyone under unforgiving fame and memory today publicly. Dennis Avner, known worldwide as Stalking Cat, lived one of the most unusual transformation stories ever documented. A Navy veteran and computer technician with Huron and Lakota heritage, Dennis did not describe his changes as vanity. He saw them as spiritual expression, a way to bring his outer appearance closer to the tiger identity he felt connected to inside. After consulting a spiritual advisor in his early 20s, Dennis began a long journey of body modification. Over the years, he received facial tattoos, subdermal implants, reshaped ears, a split upper lip, sharpened teeth, custom whiskers, and other features designed to reflect his totem animal. To outsiders, the changes looked extreme. To Dennis, each step carried meaning. Television programs such as Ripley's Believe It or Not and Larry King Live brought him international attention. Many viewers were fascinated by his appearance, but interviews often revealed a calm, thoughtful man beneath the striking image. Away from cameras, he reportedly lived quietly, worked in technology, and valued close communities. His story keeps audiences watching because it challenges simple judgment. Dennis was not chasing Hollywood beauty or trying to look younger. He was expressing a spiritual identity most people found difficult to understand. Dennis Avner passed away in 2012 at age 54, leaving behind questions about identity, freedom, and the limits of self-expression. Stalking Cat reminds viewers that transformation can mean different things to different people. Sometimes the face the world sees is only the beginning of a much deeper, private story about belonging, belief, and personal truth that outsiders may never understand, even after years of watching, judging, and wondering from a distance. Pete Burns was never a performer who wanted to disappear into the crowd. As the unforgettable frontman of Dead or Alive, he brought drama, confidence, and androgynous style to 1980s pop culture. With the hit You Spin Me Round, he became more than a singer. He became a visual statement, challenging ideas about beauty, gender, and celebrity before those conversations were common. His transformation began with a corrective nose procedure, but over time it became something much larger. Pete underwent numerous cosmetic operations, fillers, implants, and reconstructive treatments, some chosen freely and others needed to address complications from earlier procedures. He was not simply chasing youth. He often described his appearance as living art. That idea made him fascinating and difficult to categorize. To some fans, Pete represented fearless self-expression. To others, his journey became a warning about how transformation can become emotionally and physically demanding. Reports of infections, discomfort, and repeated corrective work showed that the cost was not only visual. What made Pete compelling was his honesty. He understood that people stared, judged, and questioned him, yet he continued presenting himself with sharp wit and conviction. He refused to let the public decide what beauty should mean. Pete Burns passed away in 2016 at age 57, but his influence remains strong. His story keeps viewers watching because it asks a question without an easy answer. When does self-expression become a burden? Pete's life was bold, creative, and deeply personal, reminding audiences that identity can be powerful, complicated, and impossible to separate from pain, desire, and the need to be seen completely without apology under bright, unforgiving lights forever. Daryl Hannah once represented a rare kind of Hollywood beauty that felt completely unforced. In the 1980s, audiences remembered her luminous blue eyes, golden hair, and quiet screen presence in films like Splash and Blade Runner. She looked natural, mysterious, and graceful, a star whose appeal did not seem manufactured. As the years passed, fans began noticing changes in her appearance. Her face appeared tighter, her cheeks fuller, and her expressions less relaxed than many remembered. Speculation followed, as it often does when a famous woman ages in public. Some observers suggested cosmetic enhancements, while Daryl herself has denied plastic surgery and pointed instead to natural aging. What makes her story emotional is the memory fans carry. Many viewers connected Daryl with softness, innocence, and an almost dreamlike charm. When a familiar face changes, people sometimes react not only to the present image, but to the loss of a memory they wanted preserved. Yet Daryl's life moved in a direction far deeper than appearances. She gradually stepped away from mainstream Hollywood and devoted more time to environmental activism, personal values, and a quieter life with musician Neil Young. That choice revealed a different kind of transformation, one based on purpose rather than public approval. Her story keeps audiences engaged because it reflects a painful truth about celebrity culture. Stars are expected to age naturally, but also remain unchanged. Daryl Hannah reminds viewers that beauty pressure can follow even those who seem above it, and that the most meaningful reinvention may happen far from cameras, headlines, and comparison and public memory forever today, beyond the spotlight quietly with dignity intact today. These stories remind us that transformation is rarely simple. Behind every procedure is pressure, identity, aging, trust, or the longing to feel whole. Which journey affected you most, and what do you think Hollywood teaches us about beauty? Share your thoughts in the comments, subscribe for more respectful celebrity documentaries, and stay with us for the next story behind fame, change, and the human cost of public image today together.